Welcome everyone to Monday Night Live! Woo!
It's a Monday, it's not a fun day. Holy Week is just beginning. So start it off right, cause here we are live with the Wicked's Monday Night.
Yeah! Woo! I'm back in with the sign! The same sign I was holding a minute ago. Hello everyone! Welcome to Monday Night Live, episode 13. I believe, yes, 13. It's June 10th, 2019, in case you're watching this on YouTube or you've discovered this in some sort of time capsule in the year 3086. And yes, we're actually a pretty good indication of how goofy this whole place was, so good on you finding it. We have got a huge show tonight. Number one, it's our last show for a few minutes. Of course, we took off 2 weeks ago for Memorial Day. We're going to take off a little bit for the summer. One, it's hot out here. And speaking of, if you hear the fan, tell me and we'll cut it off. One, it's a little hot out here, and two, we're going to look for a new home. We like RNP Studios, again, for all your photography needs. Search Rachel Neal Pictures. But we're going to look for a new home because I miss you guys. I miss the idea of random audience people walking in and out. So we're going to be looking for that. We're going to take a little time off. This is a big show. We're going to go as big as we can before we go home. It's go big or go home, but we're doing both. Actually, I'm doing three. I'm going big, I'm at home, and then we're going home after we go home. Yeah, okay, all right. Drew's confused. Yes, our music man, as always, pulling double duty tonight, working the camera, Mr. Drew Bumpus. Drew, howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Okay, turn that sideways. That's two fingers.
No.
Yes, so I needed a co-host tonight because we've got a huge show. And, well, Alex's mom's water heater busted, so that's flooded. Stefan is just absent-minded and double-booked himself tonight. Michael Hill's up to his nostrils in work. Patrick Alexander, Will Mitchell, they've got some personal stuff going on. We're thinking of you guys. We hope everything's cool. But if it's going to be the last show for a minute, and you got to call in somebody, you might as well go to the OG. As Inigo Montoya would say, you got to go back to the beginning. And I did. I went back to the beginning. I went to the beginning of the Wickets. The OG Wicket himself, Wes Thompson. Wes, come in, please. Come in. Have a seat. Have a seat. Thanks so much for helping out tonight.
No problem.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
Life going all right?
Yeah.
Everything
sure, why not?
pleasant?
Please?
I mean, can you see? You don't have to. You want to read? I'll hold it.
No one go across the room.
So we're going to do this big tonight. Our guest, you know our guest.
Yes, known for years.
I mean, I know who our guest is, but I don't know our guest. I am so excited because one of the ways I got into the Wickets was when I started doing community theater, there were these names I kept hearing. Stefan, Wesley, Alex. Alex I knew. I'd already done a show with him. It took a while, but then I finally did a show with you.
Yeah.
I wound up working for Stefan. I wound up weaseling my way into the Wickets. Then for some reason...
It was a weasel.
For some reason, you gave me the pin and then went home, so now I'm the one trying to herd these cats.
You do this.
I'm trying to herd these cats. But there's another name that I've been hearing, and I've been doing theater since, what, 05 or so? I know. But I've been hearing...
Sure, yes, 05.
Yes.
Way back when.
I've been hearing the name Steve Trash for 14 years now.
Did you really just count that on your finger?
I'm an accountant. So, 14 years I've been hearing the name Steve Trash, and I finally get to talk to him tonight. I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited. Beside myself. We're both excited.
But do you want to know what makes me kind of nervous? Steve is already doing magic. He asked me to do this. You see this? What does that say? Help the people at home.
Prediction.
Prediction. I have no idea what is in this, but he specifically asked us to show you. Prediction envelope, and then just to make sure nothing funny's happening, we're going to put our dance trophy on top of it.
You've already broken it?
Turns out trophies don't handle sitting in the trunk very well. Moving on, let's get into the show, shall we?
Okay.
Let's find out. Let's talk a little bit of pop culture.
I had to do this. All around the internet, they Googled lots of stories so they can present to you pop culture roundup.
Woo! Now let's start on a somber note. Again, we missed Memorial Day, so we didn't get a chance to talk about this. Tim Conway passed away at the age of 85, and that was a big bummer. I loved Tim Conway, and by all means, that was not, quote-unquote, my generation of comedy.
Mine.
I know.
Mine.
And I know Stefan and Alex and Patrick are all huge fans of Tim. I, of course, go to the #1 greatest hit of Funarchy with the Siamese Elephants. But what do you remember about Tim Conway, the comedy legend, I think is safe to say?
Oh, I mean, when I was a kid, we used to watch the Carol Burnett show every Saturday night, it would come on. And Tim Conway was one of the old man, Mr. Tudball, all of these characters that he was doing. And he's one of the reasons that I got into comedy, that I wanted to be funny, is because I saw how much fun he was having. And I wanted someone to crack up when I was doing stuff. And so now that's kind of what I do. When I'm on stage or when I'm with you guys, as long as I'm making you guys, because that's what I want to do. I want to make you guys laugh. And I get that because I saw Tim Conway doing it, and it looked like so much fun. And he and Harvey Coleman were both huge inspirations on it.
You saying that, just so many dots connected in my head about the Wickets and how they all came together and how our whole comedy culture came to be. Tim Conway, rest in peace, rest in funny, because my goodness, that's some work that's going to live forever. Some work that may or may not live forever depending on your point of view, but nevertheless, I always got a lot of fun out of it. Grumpy Cat also passed away at the age of 7. That made me sad.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, I guess.
Well, look, if you start heavy, you got to ease back into the.
I always hated that a cat had more Instagram followers
than
everyone.
That's
it's like Kim Kardashian and a cat with a stone expression.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of funny, but I mean, I hate it. I mean, but I mean, ultimately, it was just a cat that.
Look, in the age of memes,
to take a picture.
That's literally all it takes. If you can take a picture, again, RNP Studios.
Again, that's why I'm not famous. I can't. I cannot take a picture.
All right, so you weren't a big Grumpy Cat fan. Let's talk about something you do like: horror movies.
Yes, I have been known to appreciate a good horror film.
Yeah. Chris Rock is reviving the Saw franchise.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have some thoughts on that, perhaps?
Well, I don't know necessarily why it needs to be revived. The last Saw movie just came out last year. It's not exactly Gone with the Wind. I mean, it's barely been 12 months since there's been a Saw-themed movie.
I'm sorry, I want to see Chris Rock take on Gone with the Wind now.
Bet it wouldn't turn out the way you think. But I mean, there's no reason to revive something that isn't dead yet. And Saw isn't. I mean, the last version was pretty good, but I mean, they're up to 9 now, I believe, over the course of 14 years.
Has it only been 14 years since the first one?
Yeah.
Huh.
It came out in 05, I think.
I think my wife and I watched the first one. We were dating.
Because I mean, I can't.
about right.
I remember saying, "I can't wait to see Saw," and people were like, "Why are you going to the park?" I was like, "No, it's not a seesaw. It's see Saw." See.
Wow.
I can't wait to witness this film. Yeah, it's just never mind. It was
Next season, we need a snare drum.
I know.
Okay, well, you talk about reviving something that's not dead yet. That segues pretty well into a new Mortal Kombat movie. Beginning pre-production with Aquaman director James Wan. Did you see Aquaman?
okay. We're back on Saw. James Wan directed the original Saw.
Really?
Yeah.
I do segues so good I don't even know they're a segue.
Yeah, James Wan.
I'm getting the hang of this before we take a break.
James Wan cut his teeth making horror films.
Interesting.
And Saw was his major, his debut. I mean, it was Saw. And he ended up making several more of them. And now he has gotten into the blockbusters, Aquaman and all that. So, and he's one of the better directors working today in that genre. Now, I don't know necessarily if he's going to go make a a character piece or not, but
Sure.
to make something big and wow, sure, Mortal Kombat, why not?
Hey, I'm all for it. Also, back to the horror movie theme. Robert Pattinson is going to be the Batman.
No! I'm sorry.
Holy moly, Stefan Passmore is here! You couldn't tell when we were looking that direction a few minutes
Even
ago.
better
See,
segue.
they were curious.
I'm sorry, I have a really strong, passionate reaction to that.
So, Robert Pattinson is going to be the Batman.
No!
Yes, apparently. Everybody poo-pooed the idea of Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm pretty sure it's 2019. Most people poo-poo every idea that comes around. I do admit it's a bit of a stretch, but Stefan, are you at least going to give it a shot?
What?
Robert Pattinson as the Batman?
Oh, no, I'm in denial. That doesn't exist.
I'd bring him to the couch, but he's sucking down dinner right now. So, what else is going on? I know, Archer. Oh, yes, also, the Russo brothers, those responsible for Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, are going to be taking a Netflix show and making a Netflix show out of Magic the Gathering, the card game. You know anything about the card game Magic the Gathering? I was really counting on Stefan to fill in the
I
blanks
know
on this
I
one.
never played it.
Yeah. I know a lot of things at that level. Oh, here he comes. All right, scooting over. Hey, Stefan's here.
Hey, product placement.
Howdy, what's up? What,
There are no brands on this.
what?
No.
I was so hoping that could you get closer while you chew?
It's Taco the Gathering.
Right now I'm just saying Ninja Turtles. Crunch
What
anyone?
would you like to know?
What is Magic the Gathering about? I know it's a card game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And that's all.
to put it in, and I mean, this is a vast oversimplification.
That's good for me.
You just kind of basically are you're a sorcerer,
Mm-hmm.
and you battle other sorcerers, and your deck, that's your powers. Like whether it's an active power or like a creature you can summon or something like that, and you just play it. It's a strategy game. It really, really is. And to be perfectly honest with you, it was kind of how I helped my son when he was really, really little learn math.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a lot of adding and subtracting and things like that.
Interesting.
I mean, but like I said, vast oversimplification.
Sure.
You're a sorcerer, you fight other sorcerers, and you get good at math.
So it's a math sorcerer game from the directors of Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have
Sure, it's going to be great.
Do I have mouth sauce in my hair? Stefan, thanks for joining us. You good? If you want to finish your dinner and come back in a minute, that's okay. If you
No,
want to, all right. This is fun. Let's. I'll tell you what. Let's. And like magic.
Thank you.
It's a nice.
Thank you, thing.
Nice little gathering of magic there. Well, that's pretty much what we've been doing anyways, but now let's really talk about Flick.
Let's talk about flicks, baby. Let's talk about what we'll see. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things in movies. Let's talk about flicks.
Drew pulling double duty. Excellent, excellent. And he didn't knock over Rachel's light, so we all live a little longer.
And I can still see myself.
Now, we missed, what did we miss? We missed Memorial Day. So there's a couple of movies I want to back up and cover real quick. Have you seen anything at the theater lately?
Nope.
You guys, cheese. Wes, you been to the theater lately?
Yes, I have.
I assume you probably went to see Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Yes, if you know my wife, you know we were there opening night.
So this is usually Stefan's gimmick, but hey, give us a quick spoiler-free review of Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Boom! Not what I was expecting. Now, let me ask you this. I was reading earlier the box office for like this,
reviewer impression
for Godzilla and
Potato.
The Secret Life of Pets 2. There was another sequel that popped up, I think, in the last 2 weeks. Wasn't there another like franchise sequel?
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Again, very
Dark Phoenix, John Wick 3.
very lukewarm,
yeah.
lukewarm box office for all these movies. And I saw a phrase that I think is probably going to start popping up a lot. Movie reviewers are talking about how audiences have what they call franchise fatigue. You know, where we're just not as after like basically Endgame ended it. We just don't have anything left. We're spent. You know, we gave everything to the anticipation of the ending of the first round or the first phase of all the MCU stuff. Get to Endgame, it's just like, we're done. So everything that's
No, we're
followed-
not. We're doing 5 of these movies.
Well, I mean, everything that's come out since then, all these franchises, these sequels, you know, John Wick and Godzilla, they've had fairly lower than expected box office. Do you think, in your opinion, that this Godzilla was worth it? I mean, especially after
Oh yeah,
the first
I do actually. I mean, it's the first one that came out in 2014. There was 21 minutes of Godzilla in a 2-hour,
Yeah, that's true.
14-minute movie. This one, there are, because you've got Godzilla, Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan, all of the other great artists. There are 17 Titans in this movie.
Wow, 17?
There's 17. Now, not all of them are seen. There is one that is part gorilla, part mammoth with these huge tusks that was created just for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a giant spider, another Muto.
Oh, yeah.
There are 3 Mutos, 2 in the first movie, and then a third one in this. So, I mean, you get to see, there's a lot of destruction.
I think the giant spider shows up in Godzilla and Monster Island or King of Monsters. Not King of Monsters. Whichever one it is that has the little baby Godzilla.
But it was, I mean, there's monsters all over the place in this one. And it was definitely worth the wait, the time. There was all kinds of monsters. So
Is Gabra in it? Gabra's one. What about Gamera?
No.
No?
No.
I was worried.
I thought
That's
it was,
Gamora,
but
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No,
No.
different.
Gamera's a giant turtle.
Yep. Anyway,
I didn't make it up.
we're not
I
there.
didn't create
Yeah,
this.
dude, this
Okay,
is, blame
all
the
right.
Japanese. They're the ones that want big mutant animals.
I really wish Will was here tonight to end the whole show with blame the Japanese.
No, I mean like that's not what I meant. Now.
No.
I didn't mean it.
We are. It's,
Get well, Will.
no, it was a really good movie. A lot of it had everything. I mean, my wife and I, she is a huge fan of monster movies, and she and I sat on the edge of our seat like little kids, with our hands just. And as soon as when Mothra's wings came out, and it was beautiful, and she was like, oh.
I actually could see her doing that.
Oh yeah, she had a grin on her face the entire time. It was really worth it. I enjoyed it.
Also already out. Let's cover what's already out. The Secret Life of Pets 2. Drew, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, absolutely.
Thumbs up. All right. Black Mirror season 5 is on Netflix now.
Yes.
Watched any?
I watched the first episode of that.
Yeah.
I had to. Well, no, it's good. I had to go and get away from the TV after that first one. That first, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I need to go process. Hey, I need to go process. And
Speaking
I
of
did.
things you don't know how to feel about, Dark Phoenix is out.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen?
Have not.
No, it's on the list.
I'm afraid.
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping the expectations low.
I've
I
heard
never
not
liked the
good
Dark
things.
Phoenix
Yeah.
storyline. I've never cared for it.
My Saturday mornings were wrestling, the X-Men cartoon, the Spider-Man cartoon. To this day, I watch wrestling, I watch Spider-Man, I watch X-Men. So I'm down. I'm definitely going to see it. I'm looking forward to Marvel getting their hands on them and doing something else.
I'll see it. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
necessarily going to go to the theater and see
Yeah.
it, but I may wait till it comes out on disc or something.
Coming out June 14th, speaking of Marvel, Jessica Jones Season 3, the final
Yeah, the
Marvel
final.
Netflix collaboration.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Also, The Dead Don't Die, coming to theaters.
Oh yeah, the new zombie flick with Bill Murray and
I just noticed I mistyped it as Billy Murray.
no, it's Bill Murray now.
Yeah,
Driver.
Billy Murray.
Bill Murray.
Little Billy Murray.
It's his son.
Jiminy
Bill Murray's gonna show up here and kick you in the balls. He's gonna do that.
Look, if that's all it takes to make him appear,
Okay.
bring it on, Billy Murray.
Alright.
Bring it on. Shaft is back. Boy, franchise
talking about?
fatigue.
Again, on the subject of why do we need this?
Well, this story is about.
Oh, I know.
Boy, I have to watch my phrasing. This story is about Shaft Jr. Yeah. So I don't.
There's laws against that.
Yeah, there's like what 3 generations of Shaft.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Men in Black International.
It's kind of the same.
We're still.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got that. It took an extra second for that one to hit.
No, I was talking about it seems to be the same storyline.
It is.
Oh, it
Them
always,
catching aliens
Yeah.
it always is.
with Thor and Valkyrie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, while we're here, let's just make another movie.
In an alternate reality where they're not Thor and
I
Valkyrie.
mean, it's kind of hard to argue with them. What else is coming out? Next Friday, the 21st, Mr. Iglesias, a Netflix original with Gabriel Iglesias starring as a teacher. I like my Fluffy. He's funny. I'm going to watch that. And back to horror movies, Child's Play.
Yes, which looks really good.
How you
I
feeling,
think-
horror movie expert?
Have you seen the trailer for Child's Play?
I have.
It's like you just
I
passed a
don't.
stone.
I
I
love
don't
Chucky.
know.
I loved Chucky when I don't remember how old I was when the first Child's Play.
Now I
came
enjoy
out.
the original Child's Play. God, I'm such a nerd. Came out in 1988,
Okay, yeah.
and it was really good.
Yeah.
Especially you had Brad Dourif as the
Yeah.
voice. I mean, you had he did, but now it's seems to have lost because I mean at that time Chucky was based on an actual doll
Yeah.
called My
My
Buddy.
Buddy. Yeah.
My Buddy.
Yeah, I still remember the theme song. Wherever I go, we got that money now. Is this?
No, we're on Facebook. We just have to say we do not own.
We do not
this
own.
There you go.
Yeah.
No,
There you go.
I don't know My Buddy.
That's
I
right.
just rent. But no,
That's illegal.
not with the right papers. But Child's Play now, I'm afraid that they're going to. It's all going to be CGI on the doll, and it's going
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
and it's going to.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, they were able to pull
Because
it off
it's
with-
not 1988 anymore.
Well, they could
They
pull
don't
it off.
have to use practical effects if they don't
But they
want to.
could do it with practical effects. 1988, Chucky looked fine.
But let me ask you this question. Now, let's take it out of horror because you obviously have a soft spot for horror. Let's go Terminator. When you go back and watch the first Terminator and you see some of those special effects that they did,
Those green screens.
no, just the
Yeah.
putting the skin back on the arm and the rub. Does that still hold up for you?
It does for me.
Yeah.
Does that hold up for you because you saw it in theaters?
No,
or
I
right
mean,
off the
even-
bat
even-
that time?
Even comparing it to today's
Modern
technology,
CGI.
it's like I can tell when they show Arnold Schwarzenegger and he's looking in the
Now, granted, when he's
hotel
doing that in that
mirrors.
mirror, yeah, that looked bad.
That does. But even so, that was like the weakest bit in the movie.
Yeah, the other stuff. I mean, Stan Winston's animatronics and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. All of this still holds up. Yes, the face makeup and the eye and all that. Yeah, that looked bad.
But again, that's the weakest point in the film.
Yeah, and,
As far as
and,
effects
and,
go.
and if all you can argue about, oh, that face looked kind of bad, but the rest of the movie is considered science fiction.
If my 17-year-old son can watch it and go and not look at me and go, what is this?
Yeah.
Then it holds up.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
but they've gone with the new Terminator films going into the computer
Yeah.
animating with the, I don't know, all that little crap that they're doing. It loses some of the
Yeah. They rely more on that than they do on the storytelling.
Yeah.
And in our generation in the mid '80s, with all this stuff, it was more about the story. I mean,
Welcome to It Was Better When.
it was yes. When we were,
I remember when I was a wee lad watching
we had to
Terminator
walk 10 miles to the theater uphill in the snow.
just to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger kill people.
That's right.
I thought you were just going to
Well,
say
even
remake it.
Friday the 13th had a plot. The original
Sure.
had a. It wasn't just naked teenagers running through the woods, tripping on twigs and getting stabbed. It was the first one, the first two really actually had a story.
Is that your spoiler-free review of the first Friday?
Well, if you
Oh, no,
haven't
it wasn't.
seen it by
But I'm just
now,
saying, I'm just saying Child's Play
you don't
is not-
deserve a
The spoiler ban has been lifted.
Yeah.
Child's,
When's it
I
coming
just
back?
don't know if Child's Play needed a revamp.
I'm curious though how
But then
Aubrey
neither
Plaza's
did-
not going to be the bad chick because she just always seems to be the
Yeah.
bad one. One more to discuss next Friday. Toy Story 4. Boy, this is we're covering everything. We're bringing back the 80s. We're bringing back the 90s and 2000s. As you say, franchise
Franchise
fatigue. We
fatigue,
might be
man.
hearing more
It's
of
a
it.
real thing.
However, Toy Story 4, I'm down.
The animation looks amazing from the what I've seen of it. It looks
Well, and when
really
it comes to movies, animated movies are the one thing that benefit from increased technology,
yeah.
animation technology, CGI and things like that, because it just gets better.
No, and the CGI in, I was watching Iron Man earlier, and I was like, it's still, that CGI still holds up. The dinosaurs in Jurassic Park still look real. I didn't need a CGI doll. Serial killer.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
I don't know. I think I might want that. I don't know. I'm gonna.
I'll probably see it, but I'm just going to sit there the whole time going, hey, why did we need this? I don't understand. Fetch me some more.
Me and Wes are gonna be.
You can see the movie in America.
Me and Wes are going to be the two old guy Muppets, that are always like barking at people from the balcony. That's going to be me and him.
What do you mean gonna be?
I always
That's
forget
what
their
this
name.
show is.
Where's Alex when we need him? I always forget their name.
Statler and Waldorf.
There you go, Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah. Anyway, hey Drew.
Hey.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
We're gonna tell you.
Video games or Netflix shows, movies or music or books on the go. Bring it all up, cause we wanna know, what are you doing?
He's really good at what he does.
Yeah, he is. We should pay him.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe.
So, Wes, you don't even know what we're doing, do you?
Yeah.
I don't know how you answered that question. Hey, go ahead. Ask us what we're doing.
Yeah, on June 24th, you're going to do an improv workshop over at the Zodiac.
Oh, how did he know? Yes.
Wait, what day is it?
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday.
I know you're a question
I don't
mark.
understand.
It's fine.
I
Monday, June 24th at the Z. That's right. There's going to be, not only is it an improv workshop, it is a free improv workship. If you've ever,
Because we're not good enough.
That's
to charge.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah.
Because there's laws against that.
guys, let me get through the
demand
sales
your
pitch.
payback.
Let me get through the sales pitch before we start tugging at the thread. So if you've ever watched this, and why wouldn't you, and thought, I could do that, and why wouldn't you, then come out to the Z, the old Zodiac Theater, Monday, June 24th. I didn't even put a time on here. What did we say, 6:30?
I don't know.
I think,
I was
no,
just about to say
7.
No, 7 works better.
Yeah, 7 o'clock. 7
I'm not
works
even
better.
doing it. What
Yeah.
But you should. You should come
I
out.
was not invited.
That's right.
This is your invite.
You could learn something.
This is your invite. Whoa!
Don't worry, neither was I, Wesley. It's okay.
Goodness! Look at all this shade. all this lit.
Where's that salt shaker?
We will be discussing some of the basic ideas and rules that we try to follow. I say try to follow because Alex is still an active member. We try to follow certain rules and ideas. We're going to play a few games. We're going to start at 7 o'clock. We're going to go till about 8:30 maybe. Again, Monday, June 24th. It's 2 weeks from tonight. Come out to the Z, and hopefully we're going to be able to announce our next show date also there, because I'm still trying to get that nailed down. We had a show almost ready and then not quite. So whatever. Improv workshop, a free improv workshop, Monday, June 24th. Come out, give this a shot, because God, we need help. We need so much help. All right, Stefan, you weren't here for the beginning. You good? Life good with you?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Staying busy.
Yeah.
Ethan, you need to plug real fast?
Hey, when is Sherlock Holmes?
August?
Yeah. Sometime in August.
Sometime in August, Stefan and I are going to play.
In Sherlock Holmes.
And it's,
Which one is it? What's full time? Is it Sherlock Holmes and the Final Problem?
no, the final adventure.
That's it.
Sherlock Holmes, the final adventure.
I know I was going to go with either that or
I'm
Sherlock
playing
Holmes versus
Watson,
Teenage
and
Mutant Ninja
Stefan is
Turtles.
playing Moriarty, and it's
Yes.
2 weekends in August.
Who isn't Michael Hill in it also?
Yes.
Michael Hill is playing.
He has
Sherlock.
a cameo as Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
coming out in
And his
August.
cameo appears on every page.
We will, even if we're not back for Monday Night Live, we'll definitely get together and do a video promo for that
Yeah.
and get that on the page. Beauty and the Beast going on at the Shoals Theater
That's right.
this week. I forget
My
what today
fish is on the stage. My fish is a part of the set.
You're
Hey, don't forget the Helen Keller Festival in Tuscumbia is June 27th to the 30th. Tanya Tucker is our headliner this year. On Saturday night, Jason Crabb, for you contemporary Christian music fans, is our headliner on Sunday.
Okay. Who's the Friday mixtape?
Mixtape. It's an 80s cover band.
That may be the night I try to go.
Yeah,
That sounds interesting.
they're actually, I think, from Nashville. They're really quite good.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's enough of us blabbing. What do you say we get to our guests?
Woo! Wait, does that mean one of us?
Well, you don't have to. I mean,
Well, we don't have. There's not enough room. He might
I'll
feel
scooch.
awkward. All right, we can scooch. All right,
All right,
we'll
we'll
scooch.
We can scooch.
He's a scooch. I bet he has the power.
We're all friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited. It's our first real live TV star to ever actually be on Monday Night Live. Please say hello
Yes.
to Steve Trash!
We scooch. We scooch.
Really, Scooch.
Well, I was going to let him. He's the guest.
You
What?
go on over. I'll wait up
He
there.
wanted
Wait,
to. He requested.
That was a magic trick. What he
He
just
needs
did.
room to do his magic.
Well,
Oh, okay.
And this way I can sort of address you. Hey, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
So let's go with TV star first. You can say that again because it just makes me feel good.
TV star
TV star.
Steve Trash.
I'm talking coming to Alabama Public Television and PBS affiliates all around you, starting June 15th with
Next
Steve
Saturday.
Trash Science. Steve Trash, everybody. Yeah. Yes, but you're supposed to do it behind so they don't see that. Steve, I'm so happy to talk to you. Doing a little research, you can do some research yourself. SteveTrash.com. I don't know how you came up with that. It's very clever.
Snappy that way.
The guy has a mission statement, and I thought this mission statement was absolutely wonderful. His mission is to transform the way kids all over the world see their connection to the natural world. As a still fairly new father, only for 2.5 years or so now, that really spoke to me a little bit. Again, as I said in the beginning, we haven't met before, Steve. How'd you get into this? How did you come to this mission statement? Where did Steve Trash come from?
Well, first, howdy.
Nice to meet you.
So I was a product actually of theater here in the Shoals as well. And when I went off to New York City, I was looking for a way to sort of keep that passion for theater and actually not starve to death. You know? And so I developed a magic character because I always liked magic tricks, but magic in and of itself wasn't interesting enough to me. I needed something that had a little bit of guts to it, right? Something that I believed in and was interesting. So what I tried to do is merge those two things together: the magic show, my passion for recycling ecology, all of that stuff. Because in essence, I became my own playwright, right? I was writing my own shows, I was writing my own plays, creating my own material. Because when I got to New York, man, I couldn't get shot in the roles, right? I auditioned for everything, and I just wanted to work, and so I built Steve Trash and sort of turned it into this thing.
Well, you were doing magic back in high school, weren't you?
I started magic. I'm dyslexic, right? Which means that I reverse letters and numbers and stuff, so I read catastrophically slowly, right? So my mom was really clever, and she got me some magic books when I was probably around 7 or 8 years old, and I just was totally into it. I was, take the worst magician you've ever seen, that's the level, I was here, right? I mean, I was really horrible, but I just loved it so much that I started doing it. I liked acting as much or more because I had a little bit more of a talent actually for that. Just being on stage, being charismatic and humorous. The magic tricks didn't really come very easily. And with a magician, you're solo always. Like, the thing I love about your improv is you guys get to actually, you're like a band, right? Everybody is contributing some little thing, and there's a conversation that's happening. And magicians, you're totally flying solo, unless you're doing big magic tricks, floating a lady in the air and stuff like that. And I do that, but the vast majority of the time, it's just me, with a deck of cards.
Yeah, I tried stand-up comedy once. No, I need a team. I need people around me.
Well, that's much more terrifying than you would believe it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't have props, you don't have any other people, and I actually did stand up, still with the magic thing, at the Improv in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And I can tell you two things. One, what you don't want to be doing is performing for drunks at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Doing magic tricks. Because it's like you become the best heckler handler ever.
Yeah.
Because that's the definition of your audience. Oh, hello, audience heckler number 1, audience heckler number 2. Because they're all smashed.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's actually how I transitioned. Because the owner, Silva Friedman, came up to me after, because I'd stayed. They do the process, I don't know if it's the same, but back in the day, you'd come in and you got all the crummy slots after all the good people went, right? I mean, like, seriously, they had an A, B, and a C, and a D list, and the Jerry Seinfelds would come in, and Larry David. I played on the softball team with the Improv, and it was all of these people. Larry David was a very good softball player, right?
Really?
He's really good. And so was Seinfeld and all of those guys. And Silva Friedman came up to me and she said, "You're fun, but you're not funny."
Oh my gosh.
And I took that to mean I'm not funny for a nightclub audience. And it was
Sure.
some very good career advice, because I'm a kid entertainer, I'm a family entertainer, and what you needed was racy, really hard-edged stuff that would work for that audience.
Yeah.
And so I sort of stopped going to the late night clubs and developed my own thing.
Now, so how long after you're in New York, or maybe it's in New York, when did you start, as you say, being your own thing? How'd you make that transition to, I'm not going to rely on anybody else, I'm going to try to build this around me?
Really fast. Really, because, you start, and I had...
Sure.
I lived in the Village on Spring Street, and I already knew I wanted to make it in show business, right? And I really wasn't sure what part of the show business. Magic was all... The variety arts can always make money, right? Because you're not really necessarily a headliner.
Yeah.
You're just a guy that they go, well, everyone loves a comic, everyone loves magic, everyone loves a juggler, so they can just sort of plug you in to a program, right? So when I get to New York City, I've saved enough money, because I worked in a factory all 4 years of college, so got a little money set aside, because I knew I wouldn't be making any money. So I go to the city, and I walked around for about a month just to see the city, because I knew once I got busy, I wouldn't be able to. I would be hustling. So I started working in Central Park busking. I started working Washington Square Park, which was at the height of crack. So it was really dangerous. I mean,
I like you, you're good. All my stuff.
and my teeth. Thank you.
Crackheads didn't give you that. They took your stuff. They're like, that's magic. I bet I get some money for that.
I can't even begin to tell you how many times that happened. yeah, it's true. So it was that. The answer to your question is, it happened actually really quickly.
Yeah.
And before that, even as a kid, now this sounds like I made it up. It's not. I've always had a fascination by things that people throw away. That whole notion that one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Even as a kid, I would find and rebuild things, and kind of like I found a Velvet Elvis painting when I was probably 7 or 8. The frame was broken. Obviously, that's why someone threw it away, right? The frame was broken. I don't even know who Elvis Presley is, right? But I think this is like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen that someone has thrown away. So I trace it back home, and God bless my mother. She's like, "Well, honey, let's fix the frame, and then you can keep that, and we'll just keep it out here in the storage room behind these 4 or 5 things, right?" But I can see a value in it, right?
Sure.
And so when I came up with Steve Trash, it still goes with that mission statement. It was really simply to do exactly what magicians do. Look at the world in a different way, right? That's what magicians are asking you to do. They're saying, your perception is really, really filled with holes. Really filled with holes. That's why a magic trick appears to work. is because we think that we see the world the way it actually is. We don't have a clue because our minds, thanks to our minds needing to conserve energy, we take shortcuts. And the shortcuts are where the magic tricks would work, right? And everyone has it. It's not stupid people. Everyone takes these shortcuts, right? And that's how the magic works. And I thought, no, we take too many shortcuts when it comes to what the environment's relationship is to ourselves, you know? And so if I could just sort of get people to look at that in a new way, I'm going to make a whole magic show with stuff I found in the garbage. That it'll automatically, you have to ask yourself, first of all, is he nuts? Second, you have to say, well, why can he do a magic show with garbage? Well, you have to follow that line of thinking, right? And it's because every natural resource has value, including garbage. Anything you throw away.
And the way you say that, though, my brain starts going, that almost sounds more difficult, more a bigger mountain to climb to go. You're not going, I'm going to be a magician. You're saying, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to put this boundary on myself for a reason. You're saying, hey, we've got to be careful with how we're treating the world around us, and just to prove it to you, I'm going to go through this trash bin and I'm going to pull magic. It's not out of my hat. It's out of your garbage. And that's...
Well, it's not too big of a step for me because Steve Trash isn't just a character. I mean, this is a lifestyle for you.
And that's the only reason it works, I think, is because I looked over my shoulder for 30 years and I thought, I don't understand why you turkeys are not following me. Because this is a brilliant idea. I mean, you should be Bob Recycle or something, you know?
I remember the reduce, reuse, recycle. I remember Steve Trash.
Back in the day, right? And because it always struck me, but I think Wes is exactly right, is because it came through me. I went, oh, this is who I am. But to your statement there, you're exactly right. What it means is, if you're doing something really original, the magicians don't like you because they don't understand what you're doing. Just do a card trick, man!
Just roll your sleeves up.
The science people are not into you because you don't have your doctorate in that. So you're not an expert on that. So basically, you have to take punch to the face, punch to the face, punch to the face, and just keep walking. Right? Because you know that you're doing something interesting and frankly for me is appealing and fulfilling because I like doing it. You know, I like finding these ways to manipulate the message with entertainment that children will like. Because by the time you're like 2, you understand object placement, right? 2-year-olds, I'm sure your kids know something can't spontaneously disappear. A child up to about 1.5, they close their eyes, the world is gone in their mind. That's what they
I know
believe.
40-year-olds are like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that's a really long weekend.
Now, what's the you don't just do this flow, you do this all over the place. What's the farthest you've taken your act?
Let's see. The most recent was the United Arab Emirates. I was in Abu Dhabi, which was really, really cool because there is definitely a language barrier, right? I don't speak any Arabic. Actually, that's not true. I learned a few words that I could sprinkle into my show because the thing I've learned about every country I've ever been to, Portugal, Spain, Australia, Japan, is if you will learn just a few words, the local native language, man, it gets you points. And if you kill their language, they love you for that. I mean, let's see. So if you have any Arabic speakers in the audience, zibala, that's garbage.
Abracadabra.
That was good.
That sounded pretty sexy for Carly. That sounded like something you say to your girlfriend in the bedroom.
Zibala.
That's what I mean. I don't know. I might try that. You know,
And you may actually be right, Stefan. They may have told me the wrong word, and that might have been why everyone's laughing. When
oh my gosh!
If anyone knows a different translation,
What did I just say?
please let us know. I don't know, but Rachel's watching, so be careful. Okay, so let's jump to current. You've got Steve Trash Science coming to Alabama Public Television
Yep.
and PBS affiliates all over the place.
All over the
starting-
United States of America and in Canada.
and in Canada.
Hey.
June 15th.
That's this Saturday, by the way.
This
And
if-
tomorrow it actually rolls out nationally. In Alabama,
Wow.
it'll be Saturday at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., but it rolls out nationally tomorrow. The way they do it is it's a broadcast feed, right? And so anybody who wants to pick up the broadcast feed can pick that broadcast feed up on Tuesday, and affiliates have their own choice. I know we're in Ohio, I know we're in Kentucky, but it's actually their local, it's at their own discretion, their own program.
Really, the stupid question here. What channel is APT on, like DirecTV?
25.
25. Okay. I remember it used to be 10 growing
Yeah,
up,
yeah, no,
but
it's-
I didn't know what it
It's
was.
25 now. And that's what pleases me so much. So, because I'm in show business, I pitch for a living, right? I'm constantly telling people, let's do this, let's do that, right? So I go into APT, who, frankly, I've been a fan of for a really long time. Other than Blue Bloods and CSI, my clicker pretty much stays on Channel 25, Alabama Public Television, right? I'm just interested in programming, right? I like what they do, you know, Downton Abbey and shows like Nova. I'm really into Nova. So I go into the board, and they've already blown me off like 3 times, right? He said I can get everybody there. No, this starts in March. No, can't get everybody, can't get it. And I'm thinking, because by the time someone blows you off 3 times, it's going to be perfunctory, right? You're going to show up and they're going to listen to you. They're going to be like this because they're going to be wearing their sunglasses, so you can't see that they're actually sleeping, right? So I go in and I lay it down, bam, and I walk in and I say, look, I got a 7-minute pitch. I literally don't need more than 7 minutes. If you guys like it, that's fabulous. If you don't like it, it doesn't hurt my feelings a bit. I laid it down, and to a person, bam, 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 they said, let's do Steve Trash Science.
So it's kind of like Morgan Freeman in Shawshank Redemption when he goes in, I'm reformed, and at the end, I don't get just whatever.
There is a certain
Just
energy.
stamp your little form, man. Just stamp your little form. And I'll pick up my rabbit in my hat and
It's really weird how often in life you almost get to that point of, you know what, whatever, and that's when stuff comes
Yeah,
through for you.
yeah.
That's
This,
amazing.
this is what I got.
But I can also tell you for your viewers that it is. I just read a book called Grit, right, and it's simply about stick-to-itiveness, right. And I don't have a lot of talent. I don't have a lot of smarts, but I have a ton of stick-to-itiveness because early on I realized I'm never the smartest person in the room. I'm never the most talented person in the room, but I can work harder than anyone in the room because you can determine that, right? Your talent, that's God-given. Your intellect, that's God-given. How hard you choose to work, that's different. And do you know why APT, it just went straight out of the ballpark? Because 20 years ago, I did an event for them in Birmingham and killed it. It was at a mall, and the show was great, and kids are showing up, and the kids want autographs, and there's a huge line and stuff, and 3 of the board members just worked there back then and stood up and said, we followed Steve Trash for all these years, he killed it 20 years ago, we sign off on whatever he wants to do.
Wow.
Right? And if I hadn't done that 20 years ago, because once again, remember, I'm so used to getting no, I went in knowing they were going to say no, and I was even a little bit peeved about it. You know,
Damn it, I expected to know.
You know, well, no, because the next day I had to go find the financing, right? Because I went in not thinking I needed money, you know. So the next day I'm like, great, googly moogly.
Public
I
television.
have to go hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yay! Hooray! Give me a trophy.
It is. You listening, Chandler? Never give up. That's what I'm always saying. Never give up. I know we're starting to run up on our time.
But I want him to do a magic trick.
Oh, I'm sure. We're going to get to that. I just want to give us just give us a little. How did filming the show go? How
Well,
What can we expect out of Steve Trash Science, and how was it for you?
Well, Steve Trash Science, the premise is this, and it's such a really interesting idea because it kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier. Steve Trash Science is about magic and science kind of look the same, right, on the surface, but they're really, really different things. Magic is creating the illusion that you can defy the laws of nature. You can't, right? They're laws of nature. You can't defy them. It's a trick. It's a misperception. And science is sort of the revelation of that. Science is actually the study of how the natural world works. So they kind of look the same, but they're really different. So I open every Steve Trash Science episode with a really cool magic trick. I mean, just like to the point of I'm trying to do in 60 seconds routines that I usually take 4 and 5 minutes to do on a stage. I just want it to be like pop, right? And then we go into some science idea that I find interesting. The water cycle, riparian zones, the sun, solar energy, digital collaboration, how people can make creative things all over the planet by working together using connected computers, robots or plants or sound waves or computational thinking even. These days, kids learn very quickly how to block program, right? So they can actually program their own computer simply using blocks and dropping them in. And we cover that as well. So if you tune in Saturday mornings at 10, I have a contract with APT for 5 years, so I'm really sorry. I'll be on your tube for 5 years. Please. I'm sorry.
How was for the performer side? How'd you pull off the magic trick of making a TV show?
Difficult,
Yeah.
because here's the thing: is you guys know as Wickets, it's not an understatement to say that it's a team, right? You're tossing the ball of information back and forth. I had so little money to make this. I had to be the executive producer. I had to be the producer. I had to be one of the writers. I had to create all of the magic, and I had to find the funding, right? So none of those am I good at. I'm a dancing monkey. That's what I really am, and that's the thing that I do the best is dance like a monkey. But I had to do all these other jobs to actually get the gig.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had health problems in the middle. I had all sorts of things, but eye on the prize, baby. I had my eye on the prize because what I wanted to do was deliver 10 episodes, 5 hours of programming. I wanted to deliver those, and I wanted them to be national caliber because I wanted national caliber to come out of Alabama because we're the first national series Alabama Public Television has ever done in 60 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's huge.
Nice.
It's huge.
Now, it's fascinating to me. If you watch like The Joy of Painting, it's
Yeah.
one dude painting a picture,
Right.
and it took 20 people to put that on your TV for 30
Right?
minutes.
That's right.
And I can't imagine how many people it's going to take. I mean, I realize you're putting on several different hats, but you still probably have a very large team to help you put all of this together.
The skeleton crew minimum was 6, plus 2 additional writers because I'm not a science writer. So I brought on 2 science teachers. 'Cause, I mean, look,
So you brought people that know what they're talking about.
again, I'm never the smartest person in the room, and I have no ego when it comes to asking good questions or saying, if I have money, can you do this for me? And with
I'll buy it.
Right, I say, yeah, I know what that, and I know where that number is too. I know where that number is where I will instantly, if you have money and you have a problem and money will solve your problem, you don't have a problem.
Say it slower for the people in the back.
So with these science teachers, though, they could see my passion for the subject, and they could see that I was perfectly willing to listen to them. Because that was APT's only real caveat. Did you know they have 17 pages of standards and practices? 17 pages. So you have to touch every base, and believe me, there are some third rails you are not allowed to touch, right? And so you have to do all of those things. And with my science teachers, because what I wanted was to let them write really interesting episodes and let me come in and try to take those and make them humorous, either through graphics or through improvisation. We even have a segment called Benny Hill, which has absolutely nothing to do with the science, but I wanted the show to flow, right? And I always wanted to end on comedy. And I adored the English comic Benny Hill. And his best stuff, which could never be on TV
No,
nowadays.
gosh.
But his best stuff was the fast motion stuff, right?
There was
And
something
it's-
yakety sax.
Yakety
to play
sax.
with.
That's right. That's right. So we close every episode with a version of that. I'm doing
Oh, yay.
essentially clowning of Benny Hill, and we just speed it up, and it's sight gags.
Now I can imagine on APT, when you're talking about that third rail.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with some science, there's that line that you cross where science explains something that maybe something else is.
Well, the only thing you have to be careful about is that it is vetted science, and then you don't have to worry about that. If someone wants to bring an opposing opinion in about science, that's what science is
I
about.
was went about theology versus actual science, and that's why I was on APT.
I thought you were talking about like biology.
No, I was thinking,
Like creationism versus evolution.
creationism versus.
Yeah, we don't go there because it's physical science. What we're talking about is physical science that's straight down the narrow path. And for instance, one of the reasons I started on the whole Steve Trash environmental thing is my feeling was children could make really good decisions politically if they understood how the natural world works. And one of the most important things they have to understand is that everything is connected. The air and the land and the water. One of my favorites is Neil deGrasse Tyson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson now you want to talk brilliant? The guy's brilliant, and it's not just because he's so dang smart. It's because he can take it and make someone like me understand the science idea, right? That's the brilliance of him. But we're literally connected chemically, atomically, and biologically to everything around us. And for my generation, that was not that easy to understand, but for a generation growing up with cell phones, so much easier. They get it. They know that they can be texting someone in Japan.
Yeah.
They're connected. They know they're connected. And then it's not that big a leap to say, oh, you're also connected by the water. Oh, a pier broke off from the Japanese coast, and you know what? In about 2 weeks, it was actually in California. It's a pier made of concrete and steel,
That floated.
but it traveled all the way over there, right?
Wow.
So connecting those dots for kids and just giving strong science. That is, just reading a magic book day before yesterday, and he said the difference in science is that it is verifiable. Right? That others can verify it. It's not just you presenting the facts. It's someone else can take your pitch and say, well, wait just a second, little mister. And I was very lucky. One of the reasons I knew I was a terrible magician is because my brother is a hydrologist, a geologist, and he was always picking at me. Nah, it's in that hand. Nah, I saw it. You lifted the other card. Right? And so, first of all, he made me a much better magician, but he also made me understand the science mind, right? If there is skepticism about a certain science idea, believe me, the scientists want to persecute each other, right?
Yeah.
So they will come after each other because they want to tear that down. It's just the way the model works is, let's verify that to the nth degree, if you will.
Well, after all of this science talk, in fact, let's see a magic trick.
Right, because this will be absolutely not science. Wes, could you verify to everybody that the prediction has actually been sitting here?
Oh, yeah,
Hold on,
it's
just
been
lift
there with
that
that
up.
trophy.
Lift it up and show everybody the latecomers so they know, okay?
Oh, that's the thing.
No, that's a prediction. Okay, but stack that. Okay, so how much time do I have? Do I have like
As
4
much as
minutes?
Whatever
just,
you want.
Just do it.
Okay.
We're still connected.
Well, and-
right?
Nobody else is watching. It's
It's
fine. You guys
fine.
as much time as you want.
They'll catch it on YouTube.
All right. Okay.
So, full deck of cards right there. Stefan, if you don't mind, just to shuffle them up, just
Oh,
so
you want me to
everybody-
actually shuffle?
Or it doesn't mix them in any way
Oh,
else.
so you're going to play 52 card pickup.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that. All right, there we go.
A lot of faith in his coordination.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Wes, just touch one, but leave your finger actually touching the card. Leave your finger touching the card. Any card is okay. Is that the one?
Yep.
Take that card, but hold it against your tummy. All right. Okay. Now remember, everybody, all the cards are different. Wes, when I say look, please look at your card and show it to Adam. Don't show it to Stefan because I might actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you have it? Yep. Okay. I want you to make a mental picture of the card that you're thinking of right now. Please eliminate all other cards. You picked the card you wanted, right? Okay. Just tell me yes or no. You're thinking. Is it a black card right now? It's a black card. And are you thinking right this second? Are you thinking of the 9 of clubs? Is that what you're thinking of right now? Can I show everybody? Is that true? Ah, look at that, everybody. 9 of clubs is what he was actually thinking of. So
That
let's
freaks
start.
me out.
One card. Leave your finger actually touching the card. Leave your finger actually touching the card. Any card is fine. Doesn't
Okay.
matter which one.
That one right there.
Okay, take it.
Okay.
Don't let me see it, please. You can't show it to your friends. Remember. All right. Got it.
Yes.
Stefan, hold it against your tummy so I can't see
Okay,
it,
I'm
please,
holding
sir.
it onto me.
All right. So make a mental picture. You probably don't know this, but the way the brain actually holds information, even words, we make pictures of those words. By the way, I think you're thinking of the 4 of spades.
Oh my God! I gotta get out of here right now! I gotta get out of here right now!
Show the people.
Oh, that freaks me out! That's freaking me out!
4 of
Oh,
spades. Well, the beauty of that, though, is it's psychology, right?
Okay.
Right, and it's knowing a lot about human nature. Let me show you something else. It's even more interesting. I am an aficionado of. Would you guys just take all those? Actually, let's just dump them out. Okay. Okay. Those are slips of paper that have the names of songs that were recorded in Muscle Shoals. A name of the song and then the artist. So just grab 2 or 3 each if you don't mind. Yeah, let's make sure all of them are gone. Open them up once you have maybe 3 or 4. I'm not even sure how many there are. Okay, so remember everybody,
there it is.
these are all
Somebody else get that one.
songs recorded in the Shoals, Muscle Shoals sound in particular. Yeah, so start reading those off if you would out loud. So once you read it off, drop it back in.
Okay.
Yeah, read it.
Wait, let me get my glasses. I'd Rather Go Blind by Etta James.
Etta James.
Respect Yourself by the Staple Singers.
Ah! I love that song.
She loves me like a rock. Paul Simon.
Paul Simon.
I'll Take You There by the Staple Singers.
Staple Singers.
Ooh, Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger.
Sweet.
And Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
Tell Mama, Etta
That was
James.
Etta James.
Oh, you done?
I
You
grabbed
Better Move On by Arthur Alexander.
Arthur
I
Alexander.
got one left. Mustang Sally, Wilson Pickett.
Wilson Pickett. I love that. What'd you
Sweet
get?
Soul Music, Arthur Conway.
Arthur Conway.
And Slip Away by Clarence Carter.
Excellent. All right. So, who's the most trustworthy of this group?
Adam.
They're not here tonight.
I know it isn't me. Notice how I was not even looked at.
Adam,
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna,
say Drew,
I'm gonna
but-
turn away so I
Uh-huh.
can't influence your decision in any way, but I want you to take just one if you would. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Just
Let's
one?
get one. Hang on.
Yeah, but don't let me see it or anything.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to make sure it's just one. Okay, yes.
You got one?
Yes.
Okay, so this is gonna be really cool. So how many choices did we have? Maybe 9 or 10 or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember what I did with the deck of cards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to, in your mind, don't mouth it, don't sing it in your mind,
Mhm.
right? Just think of the artist and the name of the song.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me recap. We have maybe 12, 13, 15 names of songs. The artist, recorded in Muscle Shoals. I'm pretty sure all of them were recorded in Muscle Shoals Sound. The gentleman read the names, then Adam selected one of those. This artist I think the artist is originally from Michigan. Is that right?
I think you're
Yes,
correct.
that is correct.
And
I've never been so nervous.
it's, I believe the song that you chose is a Bob Seger song, Old Time Rock and Roll. Is that right?
That is 1,000% correct.
Da-da-da-da. But here's the
That's
best part.
creepy.
Wes, do me a favor. Take that trophy off if you don't mind. Stefan, please open up the prediction card
Okay.
and see, show everyone what it says.
Oh my God.
It says old time rock and
What?
roll.
Is there a camera in here? What is?
No, but there's a camera right here because you know what that says?
Oh!
That says old time rock and roll. What? And notice what it says actually on the side. Produced by Bob Seger and the Muscle Shoals Rhythm Section.
So
I'm not touching that now. I'm not touching it. I gotta go to church.
Dude, now, allow me. This has been sitting there the entire
Seriously?
time.
no, not even just that. That has been sitting there since you and I walked and helped Steve bring things in.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Hey, I'm going to give you an envelope."
Yeah,
And
and
then he
we-
said, "Oh, hey, here's the envelope."
Yeah. And
Like this was.
and I put this on there before we started. Yeah.
So here's the excitement, is that the fun that you can generate with magic tricks, because you're finding the holes in people's
You're safe,
perception. Scientists also can find that, because what they're doing is they're discovering how the natural world works, because the natural world works in amazing, amazing ways. And maybe not quite as amazing as that magic trick, but pretty
This has
darn
been in the
amazing.
car a little while, hasn't it?
It's the thing, yeah, it's the whole time warped. Right?
Drawing.
That was
Just hitting those records.
Wow.
That was really cool. I have to bet that was
Really cool?
Welcome
that
to
was-
understatements.
that was really cool.
You're sitting here with Merlin. That was cool.
Well, you know, the funniest thing about being a children's entertainer, Wes, is that that kind of trick won't necessarily fly for kids. It's not that interesting. Knowing what card you're thinking of, it's not that interesting to children. And so it's the only tiny little dismay I have in my career is I can kill grown-ups with the magic that I know. But that's not who I am, right?
If it
I'm
makes
really
you feel
a
any
children's-
better, we're often compared to a childlike.
See, there it is.
So,
We're sort of the best of both worlds. I'm a 48-year-old man in a 10-year-old mentality.
Steve Trash Science makes its debut
In Alabama.
In Alabama,
Saturday.
Saturday, June 15th. For those of you local here in the Florence area, come to the Florence Lauderdale Public Library. Steve's going to be there for the big premiere, talking to the kids, possibly doing some magic, signing some
Definitely.
autographs, everything.
And
for
we're also
kids.
bringing, the local Renaissance Valley Publishing has republished my book. I wrote a book back in 1996, 22 magic tricks kids can do, but this is called Maker's Edition. So since all the magic tricks are things that children would make, we put in some maker's tips, how to be safe, what is the difference between science and magic. I actually sort of drill down on that. But I'd also like to tell your viewers too that even if you don't get broadcast television, one of the things APT told me when we started designing is design for this frame. Design for this frame, because more children are watching on a mobile device than on broadcast television. So we will be, if you have a smart television, we'll be on Roku, Chromecast, Apple TV. You will be able to find me just by searching Steve Trash Science. If you can't find us in any of those places, they'll be on YouTube as well. Just search Steve Trash. I come up to the top. There's only one other Steve Trash in the whole world. He's a German guy, and I really, really, really want him to stop using my name.
You have to tell in German though.
Asplund!
Achtung, baby!
Achtung!
Steve, this is, pun intended, this is a magical interview. Thank you so much for
My
coming
pleasure. Thank you.
and
Thank you.
hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break because how do you follow that? Steve Trash Science coming. You have no excuse. Go find it. It's going to be awesome. Drew, thank you as always for the music. Thank you for watching the comment board tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, there's no tricks.
There's got to be a camera.
He's already done it. Just do us a favor, leave all the likes and comments you can. We will be back probably around fall with another set of Monday Night Live. Wes, thank you for coming out and helping out
That was
tonight.
nice.
And Stefan, thanks for showing up.
Thank you for coming
It was-
and eating my dinner.
It was almost like a magic trick, you showing up after we didn't think
He
you were
made
going
it
to be here.
disappear.
So
He made it chalupa disappear.
that's it. Drew, come sit, play us out, why don't you?
Yay!
I
Can't go anywhere.
It's a sad day, but not a bad day, 'cause the show has reached its ending. Oh, but don't cry, we'll see you next time with the Wicked's Monday Night.
Hey, Drew, now you gotta stand up and
Yeah,
turn
now,
the camera
now we
off.
have to sit here awkwardly until
I got it.
Drew can get over there
I
and
got
get
it.
Stop. Great.
Oh,
This is
bye.
called negative space, Drew.